I do reputation and crisis management. In my career, I've worked in several different industries. It's all about maintaining your brand, maintaining your reputation, and being able to communicate with your audiences. Sport is one of the only industries that is growing, and it will continue to grow. Fan base is a little stronger and a little more loyal, as opposed to maybe a business or an organization.
Boxing is not for little girls, you know. You need to change and choose something else. Like, no, I want to do boxing.
We are definitely going to change that stigma.
Welcome back to my podcast. Today's episode will be in English as I am joined by a very special guest from the United States, André Williams. Hi.
Hi.
He is a strategic communication expert and the newest part of my team. He will be taking care of my image in the United States. And you have an over 25 years of experience in public relations, crisis management, strategic communication, everything. I just by reading all about that, when I got from your resume, I'm like, what? He wants to work with me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so thrilled and so honored to be working with you. And thank you for being here to talk with me and to let me present you to my viewers, to my fans, so they know who I'm working with and who is helping me.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and Emma, it's a pleasure to be working with you. I'm excited about some of the opportunities that...
Yeah, I'm excited as well, just, hearing your ideas and talking through everything we want to do. It's amazing, it's amazing feeling, and I'm excited for the future. I would just say that for now, but then we will talk about that a little bit more. But first, I want to ask you what actually drew you into the world of crisis management and public relations.
Yes, well, as you said, I've been working in the industry over 25 years, almost 30 years. As my students say, I started in the 1900s, but I've worked in several different industries. I worked in environmental, in energy, entertainment, more recently sport, which is why I was very excited to have this opportunity and work with you. But yes, public relations. I love public relations. I love communications. I love building relationships. So any opportunity I get to build relationships or strategize on communications, I'm excited. I love it. I love what I do.
Yeah, that's the most important thing. I believe that, because if you don't love what are you doing, what is your job, then you're not really living.
Absolutely.
You need to, take advantage of this opportunity of life and do what you love.
Yes.
Yeah. So I also read that you're a professor at University of Louisiana, and you actually have developed a sports communication program.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've been teaching on in higher ed for probably about 12 years now.
Oh, wow.
When social media was just beginning to blossom, I went to our local community college, and I wanted to take some classes, and they said, we don't have any. Would you be interested in teaching some? So I said, sure, I can try it out. So I began teaching classes at the local community college. One class led to two led to three. Then eventually the university said, well, let's work something out. So fast forward today, I teach in the communications department. I teach primarily strategic communications and public relations courses. But the caveat was that I discussed with them, I said, I'll only teach if I can still consult. So I still consult in the industry in strategic communications and public relations. So I love it. It's a lot of work, but I love the opportunity to bring real world experiences to the classes. Sport communication is one of the things that I've also begun developing at our university, and it's something I love. When I first began teaching, I would have a lot of the athletes would take my public relations courses, and they would learn about working with the media, maintaining their reputation and their brand, and they really loved those classes. And they would come up to me and say, "Oh, Mr. Williams, I didn't even know this existed. I wish I could major in this." So I eventually developed a sport communication minor for our university, and right now I'm working to develop a sport communication major. So now these athletes, a lot of these student athletes who may realize that I might not go pro, this may be it for me, but I can still work in that particular industry. So I really enjoy helping these young athletes and helping these communication professionals who want to eventually work in the sport industry. That is growing by leaps and bounds. So I enjoy it.
Yeah. What would you say that is different, with working in sports industry than it is with working in traditional PR?
Oh, that's a great question. If I can be honest, there really is no difference. One of the things that I really enjoy, like I said, in my career, I've worked in several different industries. It's all about maintaining your brand, maintaining your reputation, and being able to communicate with your audiences. The only difference I would probably say when working with professional athletes or college athletes in general, sometimes their fans, the fan base is a little stronger and a little more loyal as opposed to maybe a business or an organization. So there's a stronger personal side to it. As you know, you have fans. You know, the athletes connect with their fans. So it's a closer personal level. Other than that, it's communicating, it's building relationships, it's networking, it's maintaining reputation. It's all the same. Now, I will say the sport industry moves somewhat faster. There's a lot of development taking place right now in that particular industry. So trying to figure out what is going on is a bit of a challenge on every level. If you look at college sports, things are changing in America. We currently have NIL, name, image, and likeness, where college athletes are actually getting paid to perform, which in my opinion is a long time overdue, but still navigating that new situation is something. On the professional level, we look at sport is becoming much more global. So navigating that is also a challenge, but it's one that I'm up for. That is why I was super excited to have the opportunity to work with you.
Yeah, nice. I mean, everything just sounds amazing, from that part when you said that college athletes are actually getting paid, which is amazing because I think most of the professional athletes, especially in Slovenia, they stopped educating themselves because they couldn't, handle study and handle all the competition they had to do, and they just leave it for the end of their career or just never to the every degree they could do, actually, because they're smart, they're capable, hardworking, but they cannot do everything the same. You always have, you have to make a choice if you want to stay in sports or do the studies. And myself, I did both at the same time, but I'm one of the hundreds that did that because I could do that because I didn't have, competition every week. I had once a month or maybe less. And I still could go to the classes and do study, be almost like a normal student, but go to trainings after and before the classes.
But it's still not easy.
Still not easy.
And if you're competing on a college level, it's a job.
Yeah.
I tell all students it's a job. I was fortunate to be a college athlete. I ran track. I know you can't tell right now. I'm not as fit as I used to be, but I was a college athlete. And I can remember having to go to classes and then having to go to practice. And then we would travel. Sometimes we would leave on a Wednesday and not come back until a Sunday. So we had to make up all of that work. So there really was no opportunity to have a job. So and I really think that allowing these college athletes to get paid is a very good move. Some people are against it, and there's some valid reasons why, but I believe that they are bringing so much value to these universities. These universities are making so much money off these college athletes. And oftentimes, I have some colleagues in academia who they kind of frown upon it and they say, we're putting too much focus in sport and why are we paying all of these athletes? And I have to remind them, you will never fill a stadium with 100,000 people to watch a quiz bowl. It's not going to happen. Athletes are bringing in money. They are generating money for these universities. It's sad, but in the past, I've had student athletes who they were actually selling their jerseys in the bookstore, but these students couldn't afford to have their parents come and watch them play.
Yeah.
So earning money, I think is only right. Now, how do we navigate that and put some parameters in place to protect both the athletes and the universities and the institutions? That is some things that we have to work on. But there's benefits to it. It's both good and bad. These young athletes are thrust into the spotlight where every single thing they do is watched and it's broadcast. So me teaching things like public relation courses or sport communication courses or media relation courses, they really help benefit and prepare these athletes for what they're dealing with.
Yeah. So in which sports did you actually, have the athletes? So to be more specific.
I've been fortunate to work with football players, American football. I've worked with a few clients in the NFL. I've worked with a couple of clients in the NBA. I was also fortunate to work with, in the past, I've worked with PR agencies who've coordinated several major sporting events. So I've touched a lot of different areas. One of the main things that I've done in the past, as you mentioned earlier, I do reputation and crisis management. So there have been several times where athletes have found themselves in precarious situations, and I've had to help them, with that particular crisis or get out of those situations. But it's always a lot of respect, and I enjoy it. I don't enjoy seeing these athletes in a crisis or in a problem, but I enjoy assisting them because, again, like I said, I can relate to them. I was once a student athlete. So yeah. But you are the first boxer I've worked with.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you that if I'm the first boxer.
Absolutely. And I really love it. I love the challenge. The boxing industry has had ups and downs, but things are changing. Things are changing greatly. And I know with my partner Katya, we're going to hopefully open up so many opportunities. I love what I'm seeing in the way of women athletes. Women athletes are getting so much more respect now, especially in America. When you look at things like the WNBA or you look at the USA soccer team, women athletes are now they're speaking up. They're being a lot more aggressive and rightfully so, demanding what they deserve. They're bringing a lot to the table. And I always tell my students that women athletes are far more marketable than men. And they often say, well, Mr. Williams, what about LeBron James and all of the... Yes, he's an outlier, but you have to consider the fact that you ladies are far more marketable. You can market so many different products and services and a particular lifestyle. Something that LeBron James can advertise all the T-shirts he wants. I know I'll never get a six-pack like him. So men, we really don't follow the trends as much as women. But women you ladies have a lot of support, and put in the right positions, you can do so much good.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still a problem, because some of the maybe major businesses who could invest in women,
Yep.
they still have this traditional view. No, we prefer the males. They are making more money or something like that. They have more coverage, but things have changed, you know. I think also with social media, young women are watching athletes. They're watching the famous women. They maybe can more relate to them than guys do to the athletes. And still, oh, I want to be like that, not just, with physics or, with doing boxing, or just, I want to stand up for myself.
Yes.
Like she did. Maybe women are more like that, to not think, oh, I want to do exactly like her. They just get inspired to do something.
They are.
Yeah.
And we have a lot of women that are inspiring young ladies. In America, we are seeing a lot of women move into high authority positions. They're becoming agents, and they're negotiating these multi-million-dollar contracts. They are becoming publicists and PR managers, and they're owning sports clubs, and they're becoming general managers. So as these women move into these leadership roles, you will definitely begin to see things change, and you'll see women really get the respect that they deserve.
Yeah, I just hope, when that started, I think, in the United States, and so I hope it will go all around the world, so we actually get the respect and the opportunities we deserve, because I've heard many times, we cannot get, when I wanted to fight on some event, if there was another female fight, they said, no, we can only have one or none. Wow. And that's a problem, if you want, to have two female fighters, you need to find an event to just, be there. So just the female fights gonna be on it. So, yeah, but I heard many times, no, you need to find another event because we just want one female fight.
We are definitely going to change that stigma. Yeah. And one of the ways we're going to do that is we are going to show the demand. And that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, sport is about money. Frankly, that's what it's about. And these businesses, these sporting events, they want to see a return on their investment. And if you can show that, they are much more inclined to work with you. So if we can show them how many young ladies want to see this match, or how many followers or actually interested in seeing these ladies in the ring, they're going to come to the table. They're definitely going to come to the table. It's just a matter of proving the demand. And it's there. It's there. It just needs to be spotlighted.
Because, it's not the same as it was used to, because they told me, boxing is not for little girls, you need to change and choose something else. Like, no, I want to do boxing. So, I think young women now are more, inclined to, they're not opposed to do boxing or other martial arts. They start doing it more. They enjoy it, and they will watch, the fights, not just, the big male fights, but actually women fighting. We also saw with Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano, they had a fight. I mean, they already had 3 fights, but I think one was the most watched fight of the year.
It was.
So that's amazing, when people are like, they started watching the event because of Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and they enjoy it and stayed watching for Amanda Serrano, Katie Taylor, and they're like, wow, these women are actually good.
Exactly, and that's what we need to do. We need to highlight that demand.
Yeah.
And once you show the demand, once you prove the demand, it highlights the dollars. And that is what brings people in. But again, one of the benefits of communication and media now is that we have social media, we have streaming, so you can build a fan base from people all over the world.
Yeah.
So you may be here in Slovenia, but you have a little young girl in New York
Yeah.
who wants to watch you box.
Yeah.
So that's one of the main benefits of sporting events right now. And one of the things I always talk about right now, sport is one of the only industries that is growing, and it will continue to grow. Why? Because it provides the only opportunity for live engagement.
Yeah.
Everything else, if you think about your favorite sitcom, your favorite movie, you can stream it whenever
Yeah.
you want to. 2 o'clock in the morning, riding on the bus, riding on the train. But sporting events, you must be sitting right there
Yeah.
in front of the TV, in front of your phone. You have to watch those events live. So that provides opportunities for advertisers because you can't fast forward through
Yeah.
that next round. You have to sit there for the break. So these advertisers, they want that engagement. They want to see these people looking at the screen. So that's why
Yeah.
you see Amazon and YouTube and all of these other major companies who have absolutely nothing to do with sport
Yeah.
getting into sport. And they're signing these multi-million-dollar broadcasting deals so they can have the rights to cover those sports because they know you're going to have millions of people watching that boxing match or watching that basketball game. And that's millions of people that they get to advertise for.
Yeah.
So the sporting industry is just going to grow. It's going to continue to grow. It's going to continue to go global. So I'm excited.
Yeah. What are you most excited for in our future collaboration?
Well, some of the things I'm talking about, I'm really excited about taking the opportunity and showcasing you to the entire world. That's one of the benefits. We have the opportunity to build a fan base from anywhere. We can have little girls in Italy or little boys in Florida and America who want to see Emma fight, who want to see Emma box, who want to see Emma train, who want to wear that hoodie.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about taking you and showcasing you to people all over the world.
Yeah. And we can do that also with social media.
Yes.
Yeah. Would you say that social media is only, a tool for personal relations, or can it be a problem?
It is. It's both. It's
Yeah.
both. I always say it's kind of like a condiment or what we call in America, it's kind of like hot sauce.
Yeah.
It's like a sauce. It adds to anything. So if you're doing bad, it's going to highlight the bad things that you're doing. If you're doing good, it's going to highlight the good things that you're doing. So social media only exacerbates anything that you're doing. If you're a good person and you're doing good things, it's going to highlight that. If you're a bad person and you're doing bad things, it's going to highlight that. But it's an amazing tool. One of the positives of social media is the personal engagement. Like I talked about earlier, we now live in a time and place where you can follow your favorite athlete. You can see what she's eating for breakfast in the morning. You can see what music she likes to listen to. And you can go and buy that breakfast. And then you can go and listen to that music. You even have the opportunity where if you say, I really like that dress you have today, she may even comment back and say thank you. So we live in a space where the fan base becomes real personal, to where people feel like I am a part of you and your team. So it's exciting. You have the opportunity to really make millions of friends, you know? So it's an important tool. It's an important resource, and it's something that we're really going to use to help promote you.
Yeah. I'm excited for that, But what about AI? Do you think it can be a bigger problem?
AI is good, but we're still in some infinite stages. We still have to figure things out. That is one of the reasons I still teach. The communication industry is progressing so fast that it's hard to keep up. The way we do things now is totally different than how we did things 25, almost 30 years ago.
Yeah.
You know, I tell my students when I would develop a press release and had news to put out to the media, I would have to fax it on a fax machine. And most of my students don't even know do you know what a fax machine is?
Yeah, I know, but I
Okay.
never use it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
You know, but now we have the ability to push one button and that press release and that news goes out to
Yeah.
millions of people, you know, but we also have the ability, if we're doing something wrong, to be in the front of millions of people. So when you
Yeah.
look at things like AI and social media, it's going to constantly change and constantly develop. We just have to be abreast of how it's changing and figure out the best ways to use it and
Yeah,
to
yeah.
maneuver. Because for social media, the algorithms are constantly changing.
Yeah.
The platforms are constantly changing. So you just have to stay abreast of what's going on and figure out how to navigate that.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. What do you want, if there is a one thing you want your students to take from your classes, what is it?
Good question. One of the things I always press to them is maintaining their own personal reputation.
Yeah.
That is something that is so important, and it's something that you control. I teach a reputation and crisis management course, and in that course, you know, we take almost an entire semester to actually figure out what reputation is. And we talk about it. And it's really an abstract concept. It's something that, because it's based on perceptions and opinions of other people.
Yeah.
So your reputation could be good with one group of folks and bad with another group of folks. And that's specifically because of their perceptions and their opinions. But I always want students to be aware of what their reputation is. So you can know how to adjust and how do I present myself. And I've asked you several times, who do you want to be?
Yeah.
You know, always think about who is it that I want to be, how do I want to be perceived, and work towards building that reputation. You know, so we've talked several times, and I always say, Emma, who do you want to be?
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
what do you like? What are you passionate about? Let's figure that out, and we work to build that reputation. And then once we build it, it's even more difficult to maintain it. You know, because as a person, you will constantly change in life. The older you get, the more experiences you have. So you have to figure out, how do I not only build my reputation, but maintain it as well? And nobody is more responsible for that than you.
Yeah. Exactly, Nice. Thank you, really. I think it was truly inspiring to hear all that from you. It helped me, to understand you better, to get to know you better, and I'm even more excited now to be working with you. I'm extremely happy for you to be a part of my team, and I hope that my viewers also took something good from that podcast to think about that and to maybe use it in their lives.
Good. Well, thanks for having me. Thanks for allowing me to be a part of your team. We will be working on a lot of things. So I'm glad that your viewers get just a little taste today, but there's a lot coming up, and I'm very excited about the opportunities.
Okay, thank you.